that one of the great truths that I ever learned came from a quarterback whose name most of you will recognize. I had the privilege of snapping the ball to both Bart Starr and John Unitas and Billy Lothridge and Roger Staubach and Joe Namath and John Hadle and James Harris and Lynn Dawson and Bob Greasy and others, Darryl LaMonica, through my career. It's almost more than I can comprehend that I was actually there. Those guys are quarterbacks because they're the smartest ones. And every Sunday in Baltimore, second only to being asked what was Vince Lombardi like, people want to know what John Unitas was like. And in a couple of words, here, this will summarize John Unitas as a competitor. He was always our offensive captain. On Sunday mornings or Sunday afternoons, we would gather there in our really humble locker room in Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, and he would always be leaning up against the door where we would go out through this narrow passageway and out the dugout and onto Memorial Stadium, that famous place that you football people watched on television so many, many times. And our defensive captain would get up and give an impassioned speech. The special teams captain would give an impassioned speech about the performance we needed, and we needed to be aggressive, and we need to hit people, we need to not make penalties, and all the stuff that people talk about. And finally, Freddie Miller, our defensive captain, would look over and he'd say, John, you want to say anything? And number 19 would be standing there leaning up against the door. And he'd say, always the same two words. Talk's cheap.